What's up, what's up, what's up, what's up?
Terabytes.
What's up, guys? I'm Tara with Tara Simon Studios, and this is
Coach Jeremy.
Very well dressed, I may add. We got merch, y'all. We got merch. Check out the description box for the merch. Okay, so today, Jeremy, tell us what we were doing the tutorial on.
It is about when to sing in which register.
Yes, very, very key topic, we might add. It's very highly requested for us to do, so we're going to give it to you today, guys. Stay tuned, and we're going to spill all the beans on how to sing with which register.
When to sing in which register. So the first thing you want to know is you got to think about, can I actually sing this note in those different registers?
Ooh, yes.
Yeah.
True, because the spirit is willing, but the voice may be weak. You never know, you know? So if let's say we're singing like a D for a female, and now I could belt this if I want, I could mix it if I want. I could also sing it in my head voice if I want, but there may be a note for you and it may be a D where you can mix it and you can sing it in your head voice, but singing it in chest is not necessarily an option for you right now.
Right.
So then don't try to do what you can't do. We're talking about using registers that you're capable of singing right now. We're not talking about growing range. So do what you can do, right? And if you have mix and head to choose from, then you omit chest as an option because that's not your choice right now. And then you choose between those two. Does
Absolutely.
that make sense?
And for me, I would say that mine was probably around a G. That's where I can really typically do all three. I can belt it, I can mix it, or I can put it in my head voice. And like she said, you just have to figure out what those notes are. And then it may not be all three places, but you want to try to at least have two of them and then experiment with how you move through those registers.
Right. So is this particular note a note I can actually sing in all three registers? Once you've identified that by actually doing it and singing through the three notes, then you're going to move on to the second question. But before we do, why don't we actually give an example? You said G.
Okay.
So why don't we talk about that G and do it in the three different registers?
Okay.
And then we'll move into the second point, which will help us make our decision as to which one we choose.
This is a G belted. Okay.
Power. Okay. Now, you want to do a mix?
Okay.
Okay. And Jeremy has such a good mix. I'm so jealous of it. It's so great. It's just like, out. Okay, and now head. Very cool, right? To hear all those different, very specific and distinct registers. He's got really good control over all three. No, you do. Don't make those faces, coach.
It's hard work, people.
It is
Hard work.
a lot of technique. A lot of work goes into that. A lot of training. So, okay, now let's go into point number 2 next, and we're going to tell you why being able to have full control over this is important.
So the second thing after you've established that is you want to think about how it fits in the song. Where is the note? What's the message that you're trying to tell in that point of the song?
Yeah, so even when you have control and you do have choices like Jeremy has, choices over the chest, mix or head on that G, then he has to ask himself, okay, I could sing in any register I want. Which one to choose? Okay, it's the emotional, lyrical content of the song or the moment that dictates the need in that moment, and that dictates the register that you choose to sing in.
Absolutely. A lot of times we want to remember that a lot of when we sing, we want the emotion to drive what we're actually doing. So this ties into that. Exactly. So.
Totally. What's a good example? Let's give him a good song example of what we're talking about here.
Let's go down the musical theater land. Let's go to Bring 'Em Home because there's some good moments in that song where you need different registers to convey the message.
I am hearing it now even as you're saying that example. It's a great example. So I'm not even sure what key that's in, but just pick one out of thin air and sing. Let's do the beginning part of it, the God on High.
Okay.
And if you guys don't know the song, listen to it. It's gorgeous. It's such a beautiful song. And it's very intimate, very vulnerable. He's praying at the beginning for this man, this boy, and he's asking to bring him home from war. And so it's very touching, and it can't be powered through. It's the very beginning of the song. So Jeremy, give an example of where you would place the on high note.
Okay. So I would place it in my head voice because it's a very intimate moment. God on high.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, right, and I would agree with that. And he's able to spin and swell the note within the context of the song too. It's very airy and very light and fluffy up there. That's beautiful. Now, in the end, he's really kind of more exhorting. It's very anthemic at the end. He's saying, if I die, let me die but let him live. Bring him home. Okay, basically bargaining with God. You can do what you want with me, but just bring him home. My daughter loves this man.
Ooh, I'm getting chills in that. Please go to that song.
So,
but yes,
it's
so perfect example of the different contrasts.
Yes. So if I die, let me die. It's similar kind of notes, maybe a little higher than the high, but where would you want to place that one?
I would probably place it. In my a mixed register, or I'll say a chest heavy mixed part of my voice.
That brings up a good point. So I would say that if a man has the range to sing in full chest at the end, he totally should, because again, very powerful. It's the biggest crescendo of the song, and it's very anthemic. So you want that punch, you want that grit, that intensity, that power. But if your range doesn't allow you to power through in chest and you're gonna sound strained and like you're pushing, then it's the smart technical thing to do to zip up into more of a chest mix where you're still powerful, but you're lightening up the sound a little bit by pulling down a little bit of that falsetto into your chest and mixing to lighten up the top end so it's not so heavy. So why don't we give them an example of what you would choose to do in that moment, okay?
If I die, let me die.
Ooh, yes, beautiful. So you hear, and actually that top note is the first note we started on. The let is, and I'm sure that's not the exact key, but we just want to give you an example. And you can hear though, right, how the difference in register at the beginning, that choice that's made completely changes the sound production versus the last choice that's made, which is for more power, more grit, more intensity, right? Right?
Right.
Exactly.
All right, so the last thing you want to do is you want to practice it in the context of a song. So pick a song that you love and then go to that big money note part of the song first, and then decide how you want to sing that note and how you want to approach it, and then work your way backwards from there, practicing it as far as building up towards it and how you're going to come down from that note, whether especially if you're going to belt it versus whether you're going to mix it or put it in your head voice.
Exactly. Yep, just like we gave you the example of doing right here. So take what we gave you and then put it into something that you really love to sing, because it's going to take some repetition, some trial and error on what works and what doesn't. And just because, by the way, the singer that you love that originated the song may sing it in one register doesn't mean you have to sing it in the same register.
Good point.
Not necessarily pressure there. You may do something in complete head voice when they were belting it out, and you may do a completely different cover of it, and that's totally fine, okay?
Love it.
All right, guys, so in summarization on how to sing in what register.
First thing you want to do is you got to make sure you can sing that note in different registers. You want to at least try to sing it in at least 2 of the 3.
Yep.
Number 2, you want to think about the message or the story that you're trying to tell in that song. So the song, whether the song needs to be belted at that point, or whether the song or the note needs to be in your head voice at that point in the song. You want to think about those things, and then that takes us to point number 3, which is when you practice it in the context of the song.
Absolutely. So guys, let us know how you like this tutorial by commenting in the section below, and practice and let us know how this helped you, because that's what we do this for. We love to help you guys, and it brings us so much joy. Don't forget, we've got some merch going on, so check out the description box below. He looks so good in pink, doesn't he?
Yes.
And make sure if you do get merch that you email us a little quick snapshot of you and your merch, and who knows, your face may be at the end of one of our videos that we post on the TSS channel. Thank you guys so much for being the best part of our channel, by the way. We love you. We are so proud of you. Please spread love, not germs, faith, not fear, be a blessing in a stranger's life, because that is how we change the world, guys. Subscribe and hit that notifications button, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.